Hello and welcome to this weather video, our usual weather video. But first, of course, we're going to talk about the storm. Take a look at that. Almost looks like an eye right there, just off of Atlantic City. So the storm kind of stalled a little further to the south, which kind of spared us the worst of it. But the Jersey Shore really has gotten hit hard by a lot of flooding. Long Beach Island, that whole area right there, you could see. Look at that. There's the circulation right there. Really very well defined. For us, the rain tapered off, and we just had a lot of sucky drizzle throughout much of the day, on and off. Looking at the radar right now, there's not really a whole lot here to look at. There are a few showers here and there, a few additional showers that may wind up moving through. But most of the rain falls over, but there has been drizzle and light rain lingering over Jersey more, as they're really getting that easterly fetch. So we're going to go back to let's see if they've updated any of this. As far as the local storm reports go, no, that was the one I read the last time. Let's see, latest wind gust reports. All right, this was updated at 5:02, so we will take a look at that. And we've had wind gusts up close to 50 miles an hour at Bridgeport Airport in Connecticut, but the highest wind gusts, 57-mile-an-hour wind gust in Eaton's Neck. Again, 55 at Stony Brook, Napeak, 52 at Montauk, gust at the 51. Islip gust at the 48. We didn't really get the worst of the winds because the low center was a little more to the south of us. The one buoy, I read most of these already. But if we go to the Mount Holly office, and hopefully they have a link to some of the storm reports here, talk about some of the flooding here. Coastal flood in Lacey Township. Flooding on roadways in Lanoka Harbor. Delaware's had some flooding as well. Let's see what we got here. Waretown. Todd Gauge reached major flood stage at Barnegat Bay. Going past the Delaware stuff. Cape May. Todd Gauge. We'll have to look at some of those tide gauges as well. So they got hit a lot harder. Luckily, we kind of avoided the worst of it here. Coastal flood in Brielle. So we've had some flooding there in Monmouth County, Sandy Hook, Cape May, and Ocean City, and Cape May County. Widespread local flooding in Ocean City. Worst on side streets. So this seems to be where the worst of the flooding was. I'd like to see if they have a wind gust reports here. But I know that there were some pretty major wind gusts over there. Public information statement. This is the rainfall amounts. This isn't the wind gusts. Maybe they're wind gusts alert. No, just the rainfall amounts. So hoping they'd have one with the wind gusts. We'll look and see. I don't know where the wind gusts would be, but let's see. Maybe they put something here. All right, here's the link to the highest wind gusts. Well, these are rainfall totals. Again, not wind gusts. Click the link, but it didn't take me to wind gusts. So, I don't know. They don't have it available anymore. But there are some pretty high wind gusts. We could take a look at some of the observation sites in that area. We'll just have to do it this way and show you, again, Barnegat Light. They're still seeing 48-mile-an-hour wind gusts. 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts at Seaside Heights. This whole area here because they were closer to the center of the storm. Harvey Cedars, they had a peak wind gust of 56 miles an hour today. Barnegat Light had a peak wind gust of 70 miles an hour. That's probably the highest one. Almost hurricane force. So this area got hit very hard, and that wind, just pretty much that easterly wind, a lot worse for them than it is for us. Because it's going right on shore. And so they're really dealing with some pretty bad flooding over there. Let's go to News 12, or we can go to Tom's River Patch and see. Usually they have some news. I'll show you some of the flooding. Let's see. They have any pictures here of some of the flooding that's happened in that area. But there's been a lot of flooding on LBI. Here we go. Atlantic City. You can see here. There's some flooding in the streets right there. Again, That's seawater. It's not rainwater. Beach Haven. Here's some flooding in Beach Haven. Here's some in Surf City. So, but as far as Long Island goes, look at Newsday. I think we dodged the worst of it here. As far as the flooding goes, there has been some, but this is we have here. They are showing some flooding here in the usual areas of Long Island. But there was about 30,000 customers that lost power today. 30,000 customers. So let's see what it says here. Yeah, they said there were 30,600 customers that were affected by the storm. You can see here's some flooded parking lot here in Riverhead. So there has been some flooding in the usual areas. Nothing as catastrophic as what was predicted, but there has been, again, trees knocked down. You can see some of the pictures here. Trees knocked down on wires, tree branches on wires here. This was in Mastic Beach here. It looks like there was a facade in an apartment building in East Patchogue that toppled as well. So there has been damage from this storm. We still got hit by it, but we didn't get the brunt of it. We got off a little easier than we could have, for sure. Let's look at our power outage situation here. And we're down to only 391 customers, so they've done a pretty good job restoring power to most of these customers. JCP&L outage map, let's go to that. And we'll go to that. They have 760 customers out of power. Again, they got hit a little harder. A lot of small outages around Toms River, some bigger ones around Seaside. Again, they dealt with a lot of wind in that area. And, again, right along the shore. You go inland, it gets better. But right along the shore, if you're on those barrier islands, you are hammered. Inland, not as bad. Once you get inland, I would say west of the Parkway or even west of Route 9. There was some flooding in downtown Toms River. I think there was a picture of that was shared. I don't know where. I saw some flooding in some of the other areas there that are some of the. Well, we'll take out the maps and it's right in this area. There was some flooding, so you can show you the maps right over here. Some of this area right here, there was some minor flooding of the road. I don't think it's closed. We can go to maps and take a look, see if that road is still closed. I don't think they ever closed it down. Looks like we do have some closures here, but I don't know if that has to do with flooding or not. Let's see. And again, the worst the flooding was in Jersey. So let's take a look at this. See what we've got in Toms River. I don't think we have any. I don't see any closures here. So, but this area has a tendency to flood right over here. Let's go take a look at Rivers and Lakes, our Rivers and Lakes data viewer here. We'll get to that a little bit later, but let's go to the Rivers and Lakes data viewer and take a look and see if we have any flooding going on, any rivers or bays at flood stage at this moment. Looks like we have one, Great South Bay, reporting an action stage being reported here. Barnegat Bay, this one is red, so this is the one there. Yeah, it's in major flood stage, actually, Barnegat Bay. So this whole area right here, on the bay side too, you're going to have some flooding here. Manahawkin Bay as well, seeing these, again, that easterly winds just pushing the water in. And, of course, there was rainfall, and it can't go anywhere. There's another one here, another Barnegat Bay. So that's down a little bit, but this will all have to be watched. It will slowly subside. I do want to show you some pictures of storm damage here on Long Island before we proceed. Let's take a look at some of these pictures here. This was from social media. This pole actually came down in Belmore, believe it or not, right at the corner of Sunrise Highway, knocked out the power. This whole area lost power as a result of this pole falling down from the wind. So I'll show you where this was. I found that on social media. It didn't really get reported much in the news. Kind of a surprise. I didn't see anything about it, but it happened right over here. spot that I'm very familiar with. So it was this pole right here that came down. This pole really didn't look very good. You could see it was already crooked. They really should have replaced this. Just goes to show you that the power grid. This is a big span of wire here. So the wind just caught this wire and ripped this pole down yesterday. Big wind gust. A very old pole here. This pole came down. And that's what you're seeing in the picture. They did put a new pole up. Here's the picture of the new pole. However, you could see that the riser cable has not been installed yet. So they did. This pole here came down, but the riser cable has not been installed. So they're obviously feeding this line off another line, probably. In the meantime, it usually goes over here. And then I meant to take a video, but I was out today, but it was drizzle, but it wasn't pleasant to walk around. But yeah, this is the second image I'm going to show you is this area. So this is where it goes goes underneath and then comes out over that riser. So we'll show you this pole here, and you can see that there are some grounds on it. So this is and you can see those breakers are open. Because this line is right now not in service, they're feeding it a different way. They'll eventually fix this completely, probably, but show you some more pictures. You can see here. Look at how this wire was ripped out of this meter here. So I still haven't fixed a lot of the damage here yet. Here's another picture. There's a wire laying in the road here, a wire laying on a lawn. So still got some damage here, and one more picture you could see. Those are the lights that came off that. So this line should have been replaced. Obviously, an example of some negligence by our electric company. They really should have replaced this old pole. It was ready. It was just waiting for the right wind gust to just rip this wire down. You can see this pole is old and a little crooked already. So it didn't take much to finish this pole off. And now there's a new pole there, but it shouldn't take an outage, and it did. That was actually it did just rip this whole span out and cause this whole area to lose power as a result. So that was not listed in the storm reports I read to you earlier. But anyway, let's go take a look at the current conditions out there right now. And you'll see that we have still some wind gusts out there, 26 miles an hour at Islip, but nothing really crazy. The rain is mostly we're just getting this sucky drizzle across Long Island. So fortunately, I didn't lose power at all. But you can see that drizzle's been a constant. Sometimes it stops, but it's basically just drizzle. Sucky drizzle now. Pretty much got a little bit of light rain around, but it's mostly sucky drizzle and a few showers. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the amount of rain that is falling again. That's the silver lining in this storm, is the rainfall. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that, and you'll see here over the past 48 hours, we've gotten over 2 inches of rain in many areas. Islip's got almost 2 inches, 1.81. Farmingville's got 2.68, right over the Pine Barrens, 2.58, 2.19 in Ridge, right where it's needed. 2.77 in Miller Place near Rocky Point. Again, right where it's needed, right in the Pine Barrens. And even in East Hampton, they had 2.5 inches of rain, almost 2 inches at Montauk, and 2.33 Dix Hills. A little less, you head into Nassau. Let's see what Farmingdale got here. 1.35 inches of rain. So around 1.5 inches here. Hofstra got 1.61. JFK got 1.66. LaGuardia got 1.53. Central Park got 1.56. Connecticut also doing fairly well in some of these numbers. Here, 1.5. Eastern Connecticut seeing those higher amounts. And then higher amounts also in the Hudson Valley, too. 2.5 inches in a lot of these areas as well. 1.5 in northern New Jersey. As you headed further west, the numbers went down. But a lot of areas, the city got a decent amount of rain out of it. Central Jersey, they got chipped a little bit. I see a little bit, more like 3.5 to a half an inch. Then you go south into Monmouth County again, 2.41 in Matawan. There's a 2.99 a little further south. 2.12 in Long Branch. They really got a lot of rain in some of these spots. I don't know if they got 4.1. That might be a little overdone, but 3.10 in Lakewood, so 3 inches. Once again, Toms River, 3.47 inches of rain. It's incredible. In downtown, anyway. Miller Air Park. Where is Miller Air Park and all this, anyway? I don't see it listed here. It's kind of odd. I guess it's not reporting rainfall, but they got a ton of rain in the Toms River. So those pines, which were already thriving, they're going to be... They've got plenty of water to work with now. 2.45 at Coyle Field. So they've gotten plenty of rain. And that's the issue. You got all that rainfall, 2.94 at West Creek. Some of these barrier islands, maybe as much as over 3 inches of rain. So it looks like the Jersey Shore, especially around Toms River, seems to have seen the highest amounts of rain. And those lakes are probably nice and full now as a result of all that rain. They were a little low when I was there, so I did get some rain. But we got a decent amount, too. Everybody got a decent amount. I don't think we'll have to worry about a drought. We can pull up the drought monitor the next time. So let's go ahead and look at our weather map here, and you'll see there's that low. As you go into tomorrow, it slowly moves away. Slowly, but clouds are going to be around. It's going to take a little while to dry out. We have to wait for this cold front to come through on Wednesday to really clear things out as far as seeing improvements in the weather. We also have Tropical Storm Lorenzo as well to talk about. This one is going to recurve way out to sea. Not even going to talk about it because it's going to be way out to sea. Look at how far east it's curving. So kind of unusual to see that, but it will not be a problem for us. So let's go and take a look at the models now. And starting with the surface here, just to show you that low does move away, and we see that improving conditions. But let's first start with the upper air here. So there's your, again, low kind of just cut off, kind of moves away. We start seeing some ridging and a little trough building here. That's going to pull down some cooler air as we head into Thursday. And then as we head into next week, you'll start seeing a little bit of a warm-up before another trough. Looks like it comes through on the URL. Go back a little further here. You see there's another trough coming through with another cool down and another trough. So looks like as we get toward the end of the month, some cooler weather will return after a little brief warm-up. Go to the GFS, see if there are any differences here on this. I'll use the 12Z GFS. And you'll see, and that sound you hear, I got that AC working as a dehumidifier because it's humid in here. It's damp. So get that humidity down. I do not like when it's damp. You can see here's the GFS. So looking a little different. And then, yeah, it looks like it does form a tropical system. Kind of, that's way out there. Don't even pay attention to that. That's far, far out. So let's go to the surface now, and we'll go and look at the surface here on the 18Z Euro. So you see there's that low. Moves away. We see improving conditions. Maybe some showers on the east end, maybe tomorrow night, but I don't think it makes its way much further west. I think we're done with the rain threats. Then high pressure builds in. We have nice weather, and then our next threat of rain would be with this cold front here. Would be with this cold front later Sunday into Monday. That would be our next threat of some rainfall right there. And you can see another pretty strong trough coming through in another one. So that looks like definitely a cool down. So if we go and we look at our temperature anomaly chart, they're dealing with some above normal temperatures, slightly above normal temperatures tomorrow and maybe Wednesday. We see things cool down for Thursday across us. You can see the heat in the middle, the warm up in the middle of the country. Cool down in the southwest as well. Staying cool for Friday. Then we start seeing a moderation as we head toward the weekend with above normal temperatures on Sunday. The next front comes through. It drops the temperatures down. But looks like we'll still have some above normal temperatures to deal with before those troughs hit toward the end of the month and bring some cooler temperatures, though. I guess there isn't much of a connection to the cooler air in eastern Canada, so the air behind these troughs isn't all that cool, I guess. I guess we would have to go and look at the jet stream for that. Probably would explain all we need to see. Yeah, the lows are kind of... We'll have to see, but I mean, Yeah, they're kind of shallow troughs. So not really showing huge cool downs. The first thing you look at it, you're like, man, it looks like it's going to get cool. And you're like, then it's showing something totally different at the surface. I don't know what to make of it far out. I really don't. Let's go over to the GFS. See how the GFS does here with the good thing. So there's the cool down. We enjoy that cool air, and then it does warm up on the weekend. But there is a cool down after that. But it definitely looks like, tendency is we're going to be above normal for a little while. Even though it kind of had to look like it would be below normal, which is kind of interesting. But I guess because there's no connection to the, we'd have to do is pan this back out to the North American view. I'll go back to the European, trying to figure out why it's not dropping cold air down. I'm thinking it is probably because there's above normal air in Canada. There's above normal temperature air in Canada, probably. Yeah, you could see a lot of areas in Canada are above normal. So that's probably why we're not seeing big cool down, even though we have these troughs toward the end of the month. But anyway, now that you've looked at all that, let's go take a look at the short range and go to the HRRR first. Dew points and wind flow. So you see the northeast, the east winds there. Northeast winds becoming a little more northerly tomorrow, so that should introduce some drying. Dew points don't really drop that much. They'll start dropping on Wednesday, and that's when we see that cold front come through, and that's going to drop the dew points down, and the temperatures along with it. So if we look at our temperatures here, after the night, probably 50s. Tomorrow we'll see temperatures not really going much of anywhere because we'll still be mostly cloudy. I don't think we'll see the sun. Tomorrow will be like how many cloudy days have we had so far? Saturday was cloudy, Sunday was cloudy. So 4 cloudy days in a row. But by Wednesday, after temperatures drop, again, not that cool at night, you'll see here's that cooler air coming in. And that'll start pushing these clouds out of here. Let's go to the European here. Here's the European. I'll show you the European for the rest of the week. So here's our storm slowly departing here. Again, stays a little moist. Start seeing the moisture drop, especially later into Wednesday night, Thursday. Go with a nice north wind there. And we're going to stay with that north wind through Friday. And as we get into the weekend, you start seeing the wind turn to the southwest, which will bring in the warmer air. Wednesday looks like the warmest day where we make it close to 70. Other than that, temperatures drop at the 40s by Thursday morning, and Thursday we're struggling to reach 60 degrees probably. Similar to last Thursday probably, and then maybe with a little more of a northerly wind. And then Friday also staying cool. It's a little below normal, but then we go above normal by the weekend. There's the warmer air coming in. We could see 70 by Sunday again. So that's what it's looking like right now over here. Just this little sneak peek at next week. Definitely that warm weather air. You start to see it drop a little bit, though, as you get towards. So you do see these fronts knock the temperatures down a little bit. Not dramatically, but there are some warm-ups as well ahead of these fronts. So not dramatically a cold stretch, but there'll be some brief warm-ups here and there. Back into the short range here with the HRRR. We'll go and look at precipitation. Things should slowly dry out as we get to tomorrow. I'm hoping it won't be the sucky drizzle will be done by tomorrow morning, and then there could be a slight chance of a shower or a sprinkle. I mean, very slight in the evening, and after that we're dry. I'll go ahead and look at the NAM as well. It's the 0Z NAM, which we don't have enough in. So here's the NAM. You can see again slowly drying out. Hopefully we get rid of the drizzle by tomorrow, and then you can see the cooler weather coming into play. Let's go look at the clouds, the sky cover. So obviously tomorrow we will be staying in the clouds. There may be some breaks here and there, mostly cloudy. And then for Wednesday, we'll probably have a mix of sun and clouds. And then the clouds will start moving out by later Wednesday into Wednesday night. And then Thursday should be mostly sunny and cooler, much cooler. And it should be a nice fall-like day. So lastly, let's go to the Climate Prediction Center. 6 to 10 day outlook has us above normal, so, and also above normal precipitation as well. This may be including, I don't think it's including, no, that's not. It's including the next period. So whatever it is predicting more rainfall and above normal temperatures. Excellent chance of above normal temperatures for the east, below normal for the west. And then we go to 8 to 14 day, and not much changes here, except for the precipitation goes back to near normal, but still above normal. So, yeah, even though it looked like, oh, there's going to be a big cool down, there's no cool air up in Canada to fuel that. So the coolest air mass we're going to have is probably Thursday. That'll probably be the coolest air mass we're going to see, because after that, we have to go back to European and look at dew points. It kind of tells us where the air mass is coming from. So you can see we have dew points down to the 30s Thursday and Friday. But as we go into next week, the dew points aren't quite as low. Some of these air mass. All right, it's showing some low dew points there at that air mass. So it does show a few cool shots, but they're brief. I think that's the issue, is that they're brief. That's why it keeps us above normal pretty much. So with that wraps up this video here. Hopefully you all made it through the storm okay. We did get some rain out of it, and that solves a big problem with our water levels and drought. So I'm sure the trees are very happy. The ones that didn't get blown down anyway. So anyway, have a good night.